Hello, everyone. This is Mike Ronchetti. Today, I'm really excited to be working and conversing with a rock star as far as a local person who's basically been doing something for a number of years that she believes in. She's right here in the Indiana area. And what's exciting about her is that she's done it from the ground up. My guest is Charmane. Is a situation where she'll give you her full name as well as her background, as well as explaining what got her into the business. The personal story is what we talk about mostly here. What we see is that every business owner has a story, and more importantly, is they have a problem that they're trying to solve for somebody else. So, Charmane, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate being here with you. It's so awesome to be able to be on this platform here locally.
Great, great. So let's start with introducing yourself a little bit. Tell us about what you've gotten into over the years, as far as where you're born, what your family's backgrounds are, some of your hobbies, maybe. But then also lead to if you have any stories about your history or whatever, funny, casual, whatever. Let's hear from you.
I was born in Middlebury, Indiana, so not far from here. That's where I grew up, and got married. I have four amazing daughters, which I'll talk about those and them in just a little bit. And I didn't know how to cook until I got married, and I started cooking. And I found out that I love to cook and that I love to entertain. And so I was kind of known for cooking because that's what I did. And I was a stay-at-home mom and loved participating in the girls' school. And I was a mom that was there, pretty much full time. And so then, as my girls started going off to high school, well, we were living in Elkhart. They went to a private school, a lot of opportunity for me to volunteer there. We moved to Middlebury, put them in public school over there, and there just was not as much for me to do, and I wanted to find something at that point. And so I started doing some cooking classes at a farmer's market that had gone up. And when my ex-husband and I went to Savannah, Georgia, I found this little spice store that had all these different kinds of salts, as well as, a plethora of herbs and spices. And I was fascinated by the different colors, the different flavors of what he was calling unrefined sea salt. And he was gracious enough to let me taste them and talk to me about them. And when he told me that unrefined salt is healthy for us, I was obsessed because I had started a health journey with my husband who had Crohn's disease, and I wanted to understand how to keep him healthy and then how to keep our children healthy as well. And so it started me on this journey of wanting to understand, what does healthy mean? So when I found out that salt was so incredibly important to our diet, I wanted to sell it. And so that's how I got started.
Oh, fascinating. I mean, selling salt out of Midwest.
Out of the
That's
Midwest, exactly. And I think I don't have documentation on this, but I think that I was the first company created to sell salt, and I just sold salt in the very beginning in the Midwest. And I sold at farmers markets. That's how I started. Under the brand, the original brand was just Salt. And I talked about my four beautiful, amazing daughters who are all adults now and adulting. Their names are Sydney. So this is youngest to oldest: Sydney, Alexis, Lauren, and Taylor. So they are the Salt Sisters, S.a.l.t.
So obviously, I encourage everybody to check out her company's name, as far as we'll all see in the link here, have her LinkedIn address as well as some background of how to get to her website. So please expect to see that there. So Salt, at this point, how many years have you had the company going?
Well, so now I think this is year 17 for us, I think. And so at one point I changed the name to Salt Sisters. I think we started at Salt, and then I think somewhere around 2009 I renamed the company Salt Sisters. And at the beginning, just selling in farmers markets, excuse me, in farmers markets. And I was doing a market up, I think it was New Buffalo. And there was this husband and wife that they lived in Chicago, had a house on the lake, and they would come down every weekend and they would buy salt from us. And he was in the marketing industry. And he kept telling me that I had a brand. I had a brand. I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom that just had this desire. Now, I will say that during my mom years, I did Longaberger, I did Creative Memories, I did Pampered Chef. I didn't realize until after the fact that I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I always had to, I mean, let me tell you, life was busy with 4 young children, and they're 5 years apart.
Oh,
So life was very busy and very hectic. But I had this desire to create, to do, to lead. And it came through in, doing all these home-based businesses. And so when he said to me, "You have a brand here," I had no idea what he was talking about. Like, I had no idea. It was exciting to hear that, but I had no idea. And I just kept taking one step at a time until I decided, okay, I'm going to see what this is about and see if I can try it.
how many years ago was that? I mean,
I think that was around 2009 when I changed the name of the company. It was around that. I had a brand, I had a logo, I had help designing that to begin with. Then we started changing things a little bit when we rebranded. And my first step was to go to America's Mart in Atlanta, Georgia, and do a show, go to the Temporaries and do one of their trade shows. And that was the beginning of my wholesale years. And now we are 95% wholesale and only do about 5% in retail sales.
so somewhere along the line, though, you maybe were inspired or just momentum or friends are supporting you, but who gave you the push? I mean, was it you? I mean, is it strictly, or your daughters or family or?
No, the daughters didn't want to have anything to do with it to begin with. Like they were not happy that they didn't have mom's attention, 100% of mom's attention. So in the beginning years, it was a little bit of a struggle. But now they're so proud of me. And my youngest daughter, Sydney, actually works for me and is operations manager, and she is a rock star for sure. And all of them have worked for me at some point, but they all have their own careers now. And so it was, I mean, literally, so I graduated from high school. I didn't finish college, was a stay-at-home mom for all those years. And literally it was just, I think I have this desire that I can figure out how to get something done. It's just that is innate in me. And I would ask questions of anybody who would listen, anybody. And so if I saw someone, particularly like at the trade shows, you're standing around in between customers, if you've ever done trade shows, and you start talking to your neighbors to fill time. So I started making friends of the other vendors that are there. And so I would ask them questions, and you get to learn who's willing to talk to you and who isn't, who doesn't want to, give up what they think are trade secrets or something. And so started making friends. And then looking outside of that to anybody else around me that I thought might have information that would help me in making decisions. And along my journey, I've never done anything that I didn't understand. And I've always thought, or in these later years, I've always thought, we are a 7-figure business. But I've always thought, how much have I held us back over the years because I was a little afraid to jump too far. On the good side, we're still here after all these years. We're successful. We're a debt-free company. We're doing well, but it's our time now to grow. And I'm proud of what we've done. But I've always asked myself, did I hold us back in any way?
Wow, that's a heavy question.
It is, and it's not to put fault on to me at all, but the evolution of being an entrepreneur is that you reflect on what you're doing and how, the business is me, and now of course I have employees and amazing employees that I couldn't even do the business without. But being the leader at the helm, I have to really look at myself and see where is it that I need to grow so that everybody in my company can grow as well as the company.
We keep on looking at businesses as evolutionary situations. I mean, you just gave a great 17-year voyage, and you don't know where the end will be, but a situation where you come along and say, huh, that year I learned something different. Did you
Mhm.
have some of those moments in time? I mean, even the last 3 or 4 years?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Share with us some of those, please.
Yeah, so learning is probably my highest value. And I crave to learn and to evolve and to be the best version of me that I can. And so I'm always looking outside of myself into how can I grow and how can the company grow? And and honestly, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I got tired. I got really tired. And during that time, then and wasn't sure, like I wasn't sure what to do to make the company grow. Like I felt stuck. And I wasn't stuck, but I felt stuck. And another company that I know the owners of, the CEO and president are friends of mine, and we started a merger. And it was a year and a half of negotiations, and during that time, I ended up backing out of the merger, and for reasons on both sides, no hard feelings, but it just wasn't the right time for either one of us. And during that time, I got to rest a little bit.
Mhm.
And because of I had begun making decisions about what direction I thought that we should be going.
Mhm.
And I had to stop that because everything was going to change. That how we did business, was going to change. And so I got to step back a little bit and take a slower view of the company and of myself. And during that time, I was able to clarify what was really important to me. And now stepping out of that merger, now I have a clear focus on what I think we should do for the company, which I can't tell you yet.
That's fair. That's fair. But you are a planning organization, meaning or do you basically take each
Yes,
month?
we're growing. I'm adding team leaders to what we're doing. I can tell you that we're digging into sales and marketing, and we've done customer surveys. We're looking to see what it is that we need to do and making decisions um, based on the data that's in front of us to grow the company exponentially. And just going back, like sometimes in that entrepreneurial journey, like sometimes you have to step back and you have to take a rest and you have to slow down. And I think that that's something that's really hard. Like I wouldn't have done it had it not been for this merger. And and now I have the energy, I have the clear mind to be able to do that. And so what I'm saying, and sometimes in that slowing down, there is this exponential positive that happens, that sometimes the universe is just bringing that to you to say, okay, all right, let's take a little break here, and then it's going to be better down the road.
Did you come across that on your own, or did you have a couple of friends? I mean, obviously, you're talking about a merger situation with some compatriots, people you respected, but
Mhm,
you obviously also made a decision that, hold it, it's not working. I'm going to
mhm.
back away. Did you have coach somebody advise you or family members advise you, or just your own ability and talents?
I've had some really great mentors along the way. And so
You can name names.
I'll give kudos to a lot of my entrepreneurial women friends that I've made throughout the years, that have lifted me up, that have answered my questions, that have inspired me along the way. And one of my dearest friends, Melissa Flown, and she owned, I'm not gonna be able to pull up the name of it. She passed away a couple of years ago, and she was a great inspiration to me. And then my friend Julie, who owns Natural Inspirations. It's a great, you can find them online, a great a natural bath and body company, and she was there along the way as I was fighting and scratching and trying to, figure out what to do. And then I've had a lot of local people that I have been very grateful to have as mentors, and just someplace where I can go and bounce ideas off. And Braden Weldy has been a great inspiration. He has an MBA from Notre Dame, and he and I were introduced, and we've met, and just bouncing ideas off. Just having those people that, and he knows nothing about the food industry, but having those people that have experience in business in some way, because they can help you to look at a situation something totally different than the way that you're looking at it. And honestly, like I have talked to so many people, and I'm so grateful for all of the people along the way, most of whom I don't remember their names or their companies, but just the one thing, that I have been good at is that I've been good at asking people their opinion, or what do you do in a situation? And that's really what saved me. And certainly, I've earned my college degree building this company.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, well, we find in many ways that it's that collaboration in our organization. Our motto is called CARE,
mhm,
Community, Accountability, Results, and Education. So we bring that, to clients as well as just friends. We very much have a philanthropic attitude, each of us as an
mhm,
entrepreneurial kind of coach, or a executive coach, or whatever you want to call it, because it's all about sharing, and everybody has a different opinion, of course, but also
mhm.
you find personalities that fit with you or not. And it's oftentimes never industry specific. It's
Right.
agnostic. It's very agnostic, because we believe that coaching is not, or any education processes, you take whatever gems it is that fits, and
Mhm.
you carry that out and extrapolate in the middle of the night and say, oh, never thought of it that way, and you look
Right.
at things differently. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Definitely.
yeah, so I applaud you for very much the open-mindedness of wanting to continue growing. Like you said, you're kind of a serial learner, which is very much entrepreneurial spirit these days, to tread water sometimes and sometimes swim like heck. So
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly. And you just never know where that inspiration is going to come from, or that idea, or just a different point of view. And I just think that it's also having that mindset that I'm not going to fail at this. I may not be
Mhm.
perfect, but I'm not going to fail. And it's easy to quit. It's easy to quit.
Oh yeah, yeah, and again, there's certain people who you might respect, professional, whatever, throw water on your situation and say, hold it, your financials are not looking that great. If you take that risk, it's not going to happen positively. Why would you not quit? and,
Right.
and you look at yourself and say, well, what would I do with my life? But oftentimes that's not the answer, because that's a cop out in many ways, saying, hey, I really still believe in my passion here, and
Mhm.
that's what I'm going to keep doing. And kind of like
Mhm.
not burn out, but burn up type of thing. So
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And you have to take care of yourself along the way. That's really important, because that burnout does come, and you have to have an understanding of how to handle it, so that you just don't give up.
So Charmaine, the next 3 years, I mean, what is the one compelling thing that you're looking at to grow? I mean, don't divulge your private secret sauce or whatever you're gonna do, but talk about that and what challenges are you trying to overcome?
Well, so certainly, I built the company on a network of smaller retailers across the U.S. We also do Canada, a little bit overseas, internationally, and I love that. I love supporting the small retailer, and I want to continue to do that. But we have to. It's time for us to grow. It's time for us to take the company to the next level. And so looking at sales and marketing and how do we grow in a conscious way that doesn't necessarily get our product into the big box, because as soon as you start putting your product, particularly when you're talking about small specialty grocery, or gourmet products like we are, then the small retailers then start dropping you because they want things that are exclusive. They want things that are special that someone just can't go and get at Walmart. And so finding, our biggest challenge is then finding what are the other pathways for us? What are the other channels of distribution that we can do that honors what we've built, and but we'll still be able to grow the company. So certainly that, and really looking at marketing. I have an amazing graphic designer here locally, that s.a.l.t. She is amazing. She's been with me for over 10 years, and we've created some good things, but I've never really invested in marketing. And so we're doing that now. How can we market better? And my whole focus is on how can we serve our customers better? What can we do for them? So we're digging into sales, we're digging into marketing. My daughter Sydney, as operation manager, is looking at our efficiencies. How can we cut our costs and be more efficient so that we can keep the price points where they are, and just grow the company in a way that is sustainable, and gives us the growth that we need for the future.
So what I'm hearing you say is you have the opportunity to grow. You've identified it. You're starting to focus. You have a team built around that objective. So you have a very good next 2 or 3 years in plan. And at the same time, we oftentimes look at it and say, how we get there is oftentimes who we associate with.
Right.
And I asked that question somewhat selfishly for you, saying if you were to identify 3 or 4 or 5 people that you right now consider part of your core team, you don't have to give names, but describe what you are looking for with some of the people who help you get to that next step.
Well, the first thing is definitely people that are smarter than me.
Okay.
Definitely. There's so many things that I don't have experience with. And, again, I'm so incredibly grateful for the where we're at. And just, I'm grateful for myself for the fact that I just didn't give up, just having that belief. And then all of the people along the way that have supported me. And I'm looking for people that can help us in the areas of sales and marketing, and help us to just multiply what we're doing now, but also bring in that experience of years of doing this, where I have a limited view. Our sales have been through trade shows and just word of mouth. Our growth has very much been organic. And so bringing in those people that have that specific expertise in those two areas.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, and it sounds like you're not doing it all alone, though. I mean, you already reached out. You're a very good networker, I get the impression, as well as you have no problem reaching out. I guess the adage that Jim Rome, one of our subject matter experts for a number of decades, he passed away in the last couple of years, gave our people, is that you look at the 5 people that you associate the closest with, and that's really kind of who you are. And whether it be you're tied to your church, tied to your family, or whatever it is, that kind of is what you do, and that's what your spirit is. And in business is kind of the same ways. If you're looking at executive level, you're going to probably think bigger, broader, but same time you maybe never get there because you're more on a organic, let's do it ourselves rather than hire
Mhm.
somebody else to take it down the road. And
Mhm.
that's completely fair. So I kind of leave that question there. But it also sounds like you're really blessed with choosing good people because
Mhm.
you would have been frustrated or told go away and you would have believed going away is the best way. So you
Mhm.
you didn't have that. You had very strong friends and family as well as
Mhm.
mentors who helped you out, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And Deb Spratt has been, she's my controller. She's been with me for going on 8 years now. And she is really the brain of what we do. And I could never have done it without her. Like there's just no way. And then we right now we have a great team of employees. We're small, but they are dedicated. It's like family. My daughter does a great job in managing what we do, and our shipping department is awesome. Like we are so blessed with people, and so a part of that is bringing in new people. I want to make sure that they fit into the family, and so far we've been really blessed with people that we've brought in, teams that are their own agency that are helping us in all of these different areas.
Well, if you were to say something to them and say thanks to them, please go ahead and use this format to do that.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'll just say thank you to everybody who has ever that I have ever come across that has answered any questions. And I know sometimes I'm relentless in asking, and just all those people along the way that have built their own businesses and have been so gracious to give me their wisdom. And a lot of women entrepreneurs that I have come across throughout the years, and many that I'm still friends with. And I so much appreciate that. And just being able to build businesses together without the feeling of competing against each other. And certainly to my staff, we have, as I said, we have this amazing team. I'm so incredibly grateful for them. And the leaders, Deb and my daughter Sydney, they really run the operation, and I could not do any of this without them. They are brilliant and beautiful women that that just show up every day and just do an amazing job. And I love the environment that they have created in our business. And then certainly the thank you to all of our customers. We have amazing customers all over the country that support us, that love our products, and just are phenomenal entrepreneurs themselves. And honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. None of us would be here. So incredibly grateful for our customers, and we have the best customers in the world.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for expressing it so clearly as well as passionately, and which is all
Mhm.
about entrepreneurism. So thank you.
Mhm.
Charmaine, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you about your Salt Sisters organization as it grows, as well as the first 17 years. We expect to see it going for a long, long time after that. I assume you have a exit strategy with your possible sibling involved there, or excuse me, your daughter involved, and that's cool. That's really great. Is that true, or you'll see where it goes?
We'll see where it goes. We're working on that. That's a part of what we're working on right now, is all of that. So we'll see where it goes. I think that I've got at some point, I think I've got maybe another lifetime in me here yet of something else to do. So we'll see. We'll
Good.
see.
Good. Well, our journey as an entrepreneur has many different paths, so you
Yes.
have the right soul. So that's great to hear that. Again, thank you for your time and telling your story to us, and we would appreciate a business spotlight that you're with us. So thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.